Hello there, everyone. Okay, so Professor X. Yeah, I think he's always been a very interesting card until maybe the last 12 months when he got hit pretty hard by a nerf hammer, and I don't think we've pretty much seen him since. I wanted to revisit him a little bit. So, just to start off with, in case you hadn't gathered, I did not pull Strange Supreme. We managed to get tokens, which, agonizingly for me, leaves me at 5,850. So unless I can pull 150 out of nowhere in the next couple of days, I wouldn't be able to do a video this week. So I do want Strange. I think he's a good card. I think he's actually worth 6k, but yeah, it feels a bit sad either way, doesn't it? So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do, because practically it might be worth me just saving the tokens and then trying to make use of them next week when the tokens and the nat packs come into play. But equally, we'll have to see. I need to gauge it. But in the meantime, let's get back to Professor X, because this is why we've started this. Here we go. Now, I go back to it. Prof X was what started this thought process. I was like, what can we do with this card? Because he hasn't been seen in such a long time. And this actually started with a Discord post that I put out. Let me just try and find the actual deck code originally. Oh, not deck code, the screenshot. Here we go. So this is where it actually started. We had Nebula, Sunspot, Jeff, Penny Parker, Silk, Rockton Groot, Nocturne, Ms. Marvel, Omega Red, Kang, Professor X, and Eliath. Now, I still feel like there was some viability here, but we have tweaked things a little bit since then. So first of all, we got Red Hulk now. We took out Kang because it was cope. You know, it was literally me just thinking, I want to play Kang. And practically, I feel like Red Hulk does have better viability. Arguably, you could take out Red Hulk and put in a Gore. We want a big number, essentially. So I felt like 610 was good. It puts a bit of pressure on your opponent to play cards. And then equally, we've got Eliath. Eliath was the one that struck out to me originally, because if you're able to gain this initial, I wouldn't say momentum as such, but the ability to actually win the Professor X lane, then hopefully you have priority to just win the other with Eliath. So that as a pairing just seemed very smooth. We got Claw. Claw obviously isn't going to be great if you're doing turn 5 Prof X, unless you want to obviously win the Prof X lane. The thought process was more about Penny. So Penny, for those of you who don't know, on reveal, add SPDR to your hand. When this merges, you get +1 energy next turn. The important bit, but SPDR for clarification, on reveal, merge with one of your cards here, you can move that card next turn. So in theory, play Penny turn 2, play SPDR turn 3, turn 4, you get 5 energy. Which means you could Prof X a lane. You'd have a 2/6 that you can move, and you could play Prof X into that lane. So there is a nice bit of synergy there. And ideally, what you would be doing is you'd be playing Penny in the middle, and then you'd be playing Prof X on the right. That way, you could hopefully claw into that lane. So there is a bit of curve here where you go to turn 2 and 3 Penny, turn 4 Prof X, turn 5 Claw, turn 6 Eliath. That is all good in theory. It doesn't always play out that way. Let's just go through the rest of the deck just to try and explain my thoughts. So we've got Nebula turn 1, priority play, very nice. Actually saying that, since I got it, I haven't actually picked this ink variant, so let's just swap that in. Turn 2, Sunspot. I do think there could potentially be a better option than Sunspot. I liked it as an alternative early tempo play, but there was also this bit of me thinking that maybe you could just go for actual raw power in Hydra Bob. I'm not sold on it, but it's an option. I don't particularly like it because you don't have control over it. You know, if your opponent snaps on you, it moves, obviously, and then that is a very rough thing to be moving around. So Hydra Bob is not something that I was sold on. Jeff just makes complete sense. You know, you can move this card once, nothing can stop you from moving or playing this to any location. So Jeff can get easily into Professor X lane. To me, again, it seemed pretty straightforward. Rocket and Groot. You can move this once after your opponent plays a card here. Steal 1 power from this card. It's obviously had a nerf recently, going from 3-3 to 3-2, but it's still decent, and we want to be able to move cards into Pro X's lane. So, again, that made sense as an option. Nocturne. Honestly, this card was so meta-defining at one point, and ever since it got that 1 power nerf from 3-5 to 3-4, it's just seen no play. So I wanted to throw it in here just to see if I could get a bit of a revive on my side. But, yeah, I'm still a bit uncertain about it. Ms. Marvel, great way of adding power to the Pro X lane. So if you can't do Pro X turn 4, you could Ms. Marvel, Pro X, and then move Jeff or any other move card into the Pro X lane to activate the Ms. Marvel. Omega Red is a backup just in case you aren't able to play Ms. Marvel. Again, it's not much, but +3 power, it's not to be sniffed at. Arguably with something like this and Ms. Marvel, you could justify having Kang, not Kang, I've got Kang for brains. Onslaught. You could arguably have Onslaught in the deck as well, doubling these ongoing. So there's potential there. So yeah, I've pretty much gone through all these cards now. And what I will say, if I just pull up Untapped a minute, I've been playing this on my own recently, and we've got 6 and 10 win rate. Not great cubes. This is also while I've been juggling the deck around, so there is some inconsistency there. But I wanted to have a bit of fun with this and just see if there's a way of reviving this archetype. So we're going to give it a run. We're going to see if we can actually do something. And yeah, as the title there suggests, can X mark the spot? Let's find out. Okay, first opponent, Rockola. Lemuria, so that would have hurt if we had got either of our 1 costs in hand, so kind of a blessing we didn't pull them. Okay, they play a card. Discard a card, fill this to return it with 5 power, so... okay. I feel like they lost more than I did there. Well, we'll play Penny in there. Like I say, we won't play Penny in the middle and move her to the right lane, so in theory, this could be good. It won't do a job of filling the lane, but it's something. Okay, now it's got Red Hulk hit there. Ooh, bit of a shame we didn't play it there with that. Alright, we'll play Spider. It's a bit cumbersome to keep saying SPDR. I think we could do Omega Red right, unless we get Pro X next. Oh. Going on second dinner. Okay, I've got no idea. I can't re-enter the game. I've never known that. Normally it would sort of lock me in saying, right, you've got to face this opponent, whereas it's as if that game's been cancelled. Alright, that was a first. Okay, turn 1 Sunspot, let's go right. Echo.
Gotta run, hun.
I don't like Echo and cloning VATs with this deck. I don't particularly want 2 spiders, but in theory they can move, so it's not the worst thing to have 2 of, it's just I don't particularly want 2 of them. Okay, they're giving me 2 cards, that's kind of helpful actually. Even though it does clog us, or fill a hand I should say. Okay, New York's the 3rd location. Let's just play the spider for now. Crystal. Yeah, that's 1 energy. I wasn't sure if it would have given us 2 because of Penny's original flaws, but I'm assuming that's just unable to go through. I don't want to do this. Just get a bigger penny. Which allows me to ramp as well. I know Sunspot's just chilling now. Ooh, hang on. I mean, I will take that. Thank you. Now, ideally, Ms. Marvel could come out. Ugh, okay. Lack of priority is a problem, but saying that, we can Jeff him there. That's not bad. I think we do that and that. I'd be amazed if they knew I was going to do something like a Mega Red mid.
I am Iron Man.
Okay, so another spider. Okay, we've got Prio. Question is, what do we do? They obviously can move cards. That feels a bit too simple. Plus raw power could be enough there. Maybe that or this. Doesn't feel strong though. Maybe we just do that. Yeah, I think we got that. What were they? Infinity Ultron does nothing. Yeah. Nice start. That was a bit of mind games with New York, it's got to be said. Plus we were juggling spiders pretty much, was it 3 times in that game? So it's a challenging one, that. Plus we got the 2 pennies to deal with as well. So a few little problems to work around, but I'm glad we got through that. The Echo caused us a little bit of a problem in terms of working out where to play and where not to play. That yeah, there's that uncommon. I wasn't sure. I haven't seen this variant. Pretty nice. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, we're up against Patron. Where are you, a patron? Nebula, right? Nice and chill. Thunderbolt's power. Not my preferred location. Let's just play Jeffrey. Alright, they can move the shield. Something tells me they're not going to play there. And I actually like Rocket and Groot here. I'm a little surprised that they didn't move the shield though. Maybe they thought they'd have Red Guardian. Right, we've got an interesting curve point here. Might as well play the second Rocket and Groot. We've also got the split power for Ms. Marvel. Alright, Captain Carter. Let's go and get hit. There's only so much power they can put in there. They could move the shield in and play one. Okay. Going for 8. We've lost priority as well, so even if we got Goliath, it wouldn't be beneficial, yeah? That would float 2. I think I've got to give this a go.
Knowledge is power.
That's a fair chunk of power to the right. Yeah. Yeah, GG's. I mean, Spectrum's a bit of a rough one. Yeah, that was a way of adding power in without actually having to play in there. I'm just thinking if there had been a way of getting around it, but not really. If I'd have played Omega Red, that wouldn't have made a difference. I don't think it would have made any positive difference if I'd have moved Rocket and Groot. Try and like double tap on the Spectrum. And even then I would have lost the Ms. Marvel buff. Yeah, that's a rough one, that, because there's not too much you can do without... Okay, the one thing I could have done when I'm thinking this through, I could have moved Rocket and Groot from here, given up this lane, and then played Red Hulk in Sewer System. That would have won it. But that would have been very much predicated on the idea of, one, knowing they were going to play Spectrum there, and also the fact that they weren't going to play anything there or move anything there. Like, they could have moved the shield there, they could have played Spectrum there. Granted, it would have made this Captain Carter area wasteful, but there were a few things that maybe pulled away from the idea of just not trying to spread, but just consolidate one location. So that was a bit of a sad one to lose, but I don't regret it. I think that was just one where I felt it was worth the 8. It wasn't in the end, though. All right, piotor. Okay, Onslaught Citadel could be beautiful if we can get the right circumstances. Atalan. The trouble with not turning it, we can't get rid of that. Yeah, we'll play Sunspot left. Ooh. Alright, that was not on my bingo card. Okay, Scarlet Spider. Oh, it's Arisham. That makes a lot more sense. I didn't check the deck size. So let's do that. Definitively, we win in this location. So we should be able to proc the Omega Red buff quite comfortably. Yeah, we've added 6 there on its own. I think I moved that just in case they've got plans to do something with Galactus. And we'll do that. Is it Galactus? No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the winning Mojo world. To me, that just says, do not play there. We play Elias right and win. I can't... Okay, let's do it. Oh, okay. Yep, that was pretty comfortable. I mean, you can see here that it is basically a case of winning 2 lanes, and I should have snapped really when Pro X was coming down, but I honestly didn't know what was going to happen with Symbiote Spider-Man. It was unlikely it was Galactus. But Symbiote Spider-Man really does have that synergy with Galactus that you're like, okay, if that combines, that's going to be 12 power and, oh sorry, not 12 power, 13 power. I was not winning that. So I thought, I'm not going to snap for that sole reason. But there had been another card like a 4/7. I'm trying to think what else that could be. Maybe a Proxima Midnight for argument's sake. Then I would have snapped because I'm thinking, okay, that's not going to do any weird shenanigans like that. So yeah, yeah, that was a good win. I wish I'd snapped though, because that would have been the cherry on the cake. But considering circumstances, 2's all right. PIXELribelle. All right, not a pixel, but you can have a sunspot. That's something I'm going to have to do. Even though I'm not a fan of pixel art, I think I am going to have to one day create a pixel deck. I've got enough pixel variants that I can surely build a deck out of them. Okay, Red Guardian discarded, Red Hulk discarded. That's not really worth challenging for on its own because the Red Hulk's not going to grow, so... Oh, okay, well... They chose they didn't really mind losing Red Guardian. I'm fine with that. Bit of a shame to lose Red Hulk, but I'm not crying in my sleep over it. No, another one. Alright, well, maybe I can just make them feel very salty about me doing this. Alright, Cassandra Nova. Was that theirs? Wow. Okay, we'll Ms. Marvel. We haven't got the pieces in place yet, but we move Rocket left, we can trigger it. Alright, loads of stones out. Ideally, I need a 5. Okay, we got a 2 and a 3. Okay, that does knock down Ms. Marvel a bit, but we're still in priority there.
I am inevitable.
Jeffrey and Nocturne. They help see that location into a win. I'm not convinced this is enough because Thanos is 5 cost and 22 power, but the 1 cost alongside would only be Kitty. So maybe it's enough. What's left? Is that lab? Yeah, but not enough in the mid. Fair enough. I mean... Sorry, I've just realised I'm sounding like a Bisto advert. I think that is a shame in the sense if I'd gone alive left and kept the Rockton group mid, I would have won that. But I'm not entirely convinced that was the right call. I mean, obviously it was the right call in terms of winning the game, but I'm a bit surprised they went so low there because there must have been a suspicion I'd moved the Rockton group. Anyway, they won, so GG's to them. I didn't actually bring it up, by the way, facing Nova. I didn't bring up some of the cards I took out, but Silk, for instance. I like the idea of playing Silk, because again, it's a card I haven't played in a while, but the movement is so random. You know, you've either got to fill a location so she's guaranteed to move between 2, or you've got to be really reliant on your opponent playing on location. You know, and I think she could really have good stocks next week when Hydra Stomp comes out, but when you're having a deck where you're moving cards, it just felt so out of place. I mean, Kang, I've been open about Kang, that was just me trying to have a bit of fun with a card that you never play. But, yeah, I can't say it was the same thing with so there was a thought there about movement again, and it just didn't line up. It's a shame. Okay, so if I moved Nocturne into Fist Tower, then it would penalise me. So I think instead we just play it there. Are they playing cards? I've had this recently where someone didn't play a single card all game. I mean, if they don't play a card this turn, I'm going to retreat because I don't like the idea of winning a game like this. Yeah, I'm just retreating. I'm not sure what the crack is, why these things are happening, but
Escaped.
yeah, I'm not going more than 4 turns there. Because that isn't someone not drawing cards, that's someone actively saying, I'm skipping turns. Something just popped in my head. It's not a great idea, but it is something. Captain Carter potentially could be a good option in this deck, instead of Omega Red. I mean, Omega's adding 3 cards to 3 power to other locations if he's winning the location. So it's a different kind of power, but it is still kind of interesting. I don't know. It's where I wasn't really trying to just put pure ongoing cards in there, but... Ooh, okay, Strange Supreme, and what was that for me? Omega Red, okay. Well, I've just said I don't mind losing him, so that's fine with me. So they're going to move the shield over there, surely. So I actually get a chance of winning Omega back. Okay, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and Snowguard. So is this a Infinity Ultron deck? We haven't got priority, so I'm actually thinking it is worth playing Rocket and Groot, it's just it doesn't feel as good. Really, I still get Omega Red back. Oh. Nicking my card and its benefit. Let's just do that. I don't know if that's enough, but they can move the shield out, so maybe it is. I can still move Rocket and Groot out as well if I think I'm losing the lane. We have got Omega and Jeff to still play. Alright, Mockingbird, not fun.
All systems go.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a way through here. I mean, that is just too big a chunk of power in every location, so I've got to go. I mean, Strange Supreme, I really like the card. I am bummed I haven't got it. I would have loved to have done the deck video for Strange. But, yeah, I mean, just look at it, 214, and it's only been on the board for a turn.
Escape.
I mean, okay, the location out there, but... yeah, that is rough. There's a bit of me when I'm playing this deck where I'm like, just a few of these cards feel like they could do with a buff again. Like Nocturne, she really took a hit. It's so strange when you talk about 1 power feeling like a massive nerf. But at 3-5, she was in every deck in the game nearly. 3-4, you never see her. And it's just amazing how that 1 power altered perception on her. Omega Red, he's not a A-list card by any stretch, but he still feels very tame right now. I mean, it's where you think, could he go up to a 4-6 even? Or maybe buff him up to 4 power, 5 power to other locations. Okay, 5's probably a bit overboard when you got Ms. Marvel in the game, but I don't know. Right this minute, it just feels like they're missing something. Okay, New York. I'm fine playing them there because it puts pressure on playing it into New York. And I don't mind doing that because it also means we could potentially just skip turn 5. Wong. Why have I got Brood? Not Brood. Negative Surfer vibes. I've never seen Nakia in a Negative Surfer deck, but... I think I've got to do this now. Ooh. That could be good. Okay, so obviously the right lane's lost. Damn it. I can clear those two negatives. But I just won't be able to gain enough power. Just doing the numbers, it'd be... We'd gain +2 there. So it's +6 effective, isn't it? So it'd be 3. But I'd need to destroy him. Let me just see if it's worth it. Six, yes! Ooh. That was honestly just try and do the numbers as quick as possible. I don't know why they snapped then. I know I took my time, but that was a case of me taking my time to work it out, whereas they just snapped to try and put pressure on. Again, I don't get Nakia there. Even if you haven't got all the cards for a Negative Surfer deck, that just feels like a weird one to put in there. But yeah, I'm glad I read that just before they made the play. Profx, I think, helped a little bit, but not that much. Maybe that's me coping. Matt to be my Valentine. No, thank you. All right, so Nebula turn 1. Stable, okay. Playing in that location, I don't think they've got Luke Cage if this is the deck that we've been seeing a lot lately. Trying to think how the curve goes. It's probably Scorpion this turn. With that in mind, this is a terrible play. Yep, Scorpion. We know the deck. So they can play a 4 cost. That could be Laufey, but that'd be a waste at this point. So I'm assuming Diamondback. I haven't got priority, so Rocket and Groot doesn't make as much sense. Malekith, okay. I haven't seen Malekith in these decks for a little bit. Yeah, I just want to get rid of that location. We'll play Omega Red. It won't win the location as it is, but it just puts some power down. I'm wondering if we do Penny Groot next. I haven't made this clear. This is absolutely filthy. Okay, so Profx doesn't really do anything here.
Opponent snapped.
But why not? Yeah, that blows. Yeah, I've just got no way of swinging that. Playing both of them, that was rough. Like, if one of them had been there, it's like, okay, well, at least X isn't getting hit, but that literally hits every card in that location. I mean, obviously it's hitting them for both, but yeah, that is just a rough one. Because I can only climb to 3 there.
Escape.
Yeah, rough one. All right, Dean Machine. Floor gone. Red Guardian gone. What I will say just about this video in general, right? I'm not saying anyone should climb with this. But I want to point out there in terms of... A lot of this actually came to mind because I was on Reddit. I do keep an eye on some Reddit posts. And I saw someone commenting that they've found a way to climb to Infinite each season using some of these cards. Like the ones that were specified, if I remember right, were Nebula, Jeff, Rocket and Groot, Ms. Marvel, Prof X, and Alioth. And I'm thinking, okay, let's assume there is a good shell for those cards. There's this bit of me where I'm like, but could they be better still? You know, is there something that could just make them that little bit more reliable? And how it feels right now, yeah, they could be more reliable. Alright, whatever they had discarded, they've got back. Red Guardian. That's filled the hand. And I've got Stormbreaker. Okay, that would have been a perfect time for Prof X to turn up, so that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's just hope it moves one of them broods. Yep, I'll take that. Ooh. Well, I like that.
Snap.
I mean, why not? I figure we can move that out if we need to. I mean, if they've just read that I've got Stormbreaker and that's their play, I'm a little surprised. But honestly, I think we just go like that. Purple Fart Cloud wins, surely.
Victory.
2 videos ago, right? Did a whole video that was bigging up Ghost. This is why Ghost has room right now, because no one is expecting Alioth. Okay, so normally I would aim for 10 games, but because we had that funny one at the start, I don't know if it's on the stats, so I'm going to do 12 just to be safe. I like to do 10 to 12 just for that simple reason. It's a nice, small sample, you know. Alright, Fenris discarded, Claw discarded.
Opponent snapped.
Otherwise, weird, this is a bad day to play this deck. Like, I like the location. I do think it's a bit of fun, even though it's discarding cards. But, yeah, it's a bit annoying when a card I would like to be playing gets ripped out of my hand. That was Claw, wasn't it? And what if they lost? Fenris. Just to remind myself. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Okay, so they've got 5 energy now, which is ironic because they could play Prof X if they wanted. Okay, Infinity Ultron. 4-7, so we still got Prio. Hopefully that can win as a lane. Hopefully. Do they read Prof X? No. Cable, so who knows what they're nicking there. And the Power Stone doubling that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Have my Elias. You've got another stone. That's 3 energy. And I assume they're going to want to combo it with something, so Elias again should feast. And it's 16 power, so it's not insignificant in the middle. Tut. Don't try and take my rogue. Don't try and take my Ms. Marvel with your rogue. Alright. That's another 4 cubes. And I'm not even being aggressive here. I'm not snapping back. Okay, so this isn't a bad curve. Well, Sunspot. Again, this is where I've got to be honest, Sunspot doesn't really seem to be that impactful. When I've played him, he does seem to be 1-1 most of the time because we do tend to fill a curve out. So there might be an argument for finding another card that's more beneficial. But yeah, don't ask me what that is yet. In the last video, I did talk about the idea that when I'm trying to think of what deck I want to play, it's usually around certain cards. And like I say with Sunspot, I can't say it's the right card. It's just something that I actually thought, you know what, let's play it. And it feels different playing it here than playing it in high evo. You know, it's almost become synonymous with that archetype, so it's nice just having a break from that sort of connection. Ooh. You might think I snapped because of Nidavellir. I don't mind that. Just please don't be a Cosmo here, that would ruin my fun. Copycat. Ms. Marvel, okay. Not ideal, but that's fine. We'll just hammer home the location there. Plus, we get extra energy if we're winning it. Well, we don't even need to win it, we just need to have 10 or more power. That's 6, 7, 9. So if we can fill a curve out with Claw next turn, then... Actually, that still wouldn't be it, would it? I'll have to have a think on that. Ms. Marvel being at the bottom of the deck is a little bit awkward. Again, this way you look at Prof X and think, would he be alright at 5-3? Ooh. Alright, we don't have to worry about the power issue anyway. Oh, okay. That's fine. Okay, so it's 0-1, 0-3. Sorry, 1-3. So it's 4 power base. So I figure if I add them in now... I've just realised they've got the Ms. Marvel buff as well. Okay, that will help them. They can't Shang it. That's the positive. Goliath wouldn't do anything. They've got no way, to my knowledge, of impacting that left lane. It's all about if they've got enough to power these two locations up and not charge up Red Hulk. That I don't know. I'm intrigued. Because they also couldn't disable Ms. Marvel. So it would have to be 2 or a 3. What? 2 or 3, 4 or 5 or 6. This is definitely one of those instances of priority having a benefit. Ooh. They did try that. Yeah, I will take it. It's alright having the attack, but if you can't play it, you might as well retreat out. Alright, last one. Alright, nothing for turn 1. Pennies in hand, which could give us a ramp option. Aranak. That is a bit awkward. I'm almost inclined to play Nocturne ahead of the Spider, simply to get rid of Tarnax. Because that is just a disruptive location to me. I mean, I feel like they could spin something out of that, you know, like Shana, and Shana would just do things anyway. So yeah, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to play Nocturne, and then we'll do Spider Nebula. It does mean we're losing our early ramp, but we haven't got a 5 cost that needs it. Don't mind that. Ooh, okay, that is interesting. That Marvel boy's going to be annoying. Okay, Jeff's kind of dead. Oh, we really don't want Ms. Marvel this turn, though. We've got to claw here, really, haven't we? And we'll Nebula there just for power. And I figure we might as well just leave Penny there as well. I mean, we could always move her if we wanted. Gilgamesh, okay. So the left's not looking great right now. Alright, Nocturne didn't get rid of New York, so that's something. Ooh. Spider Island's a bit of flavour. Yeah, I can't move Claw mid, obviously. Nah, I just don't think there's... I know I'm reacting a little bit to the snap there, but I don't see a way through that. I mean, even if I could somehow... I mean, that is +5, so that would be 20. I just wouldn't have enough. I mean, if I undid that, that's actually, that's it with Penny Parker, so that would be 20 then. Yeah, I just don't have enough. I'll retreat out. Yeah, Zoo's finicky like that. Not to mention it was a boomer snap, so I'm kind of happy I retreated there. So, the brass tacks of this deck. 12 games played, 6 won, 6 lost, 50% win rate. It's not anything special. We did get 5 net cubes. I'm actually pleased with that because I showed before what the win rate was looking like and the cube rate. It wasn't great. So I feel like we have actually come out of this with better than I was probably expecting. We just break down the matches. There were a few funny ones. Like I say, we did lose an 8 cuber pretty bad early on, but we did recover. We got a couple of 2s, a couple of 4s. Well, actually, at the end, we were winning all but 4s. So, yeah. My gut on this deck, if I'm being honest, is... First of all, I don't think it's refined. You know, I think if someone who actually knows how to build a deck went and took some of these cards, they could build a much better deck than I did here. I mean, even while I've been playing it, I was thinking Sunspot obviously hasn't had that oomph I was hoping for. And it makes me think, could you maybe put something else in that's got a bit of ramp like Penny? Maybe a Psylocke or... See, at that point, then I'm questioning it because you don't want Electro. Electro's got too negative a downside, even though you do like playing just one card. But yeah, it's funny because a lot of the pros of this deck come down to, can I get Pro X out? And can I lock a location down nice and early? So I definitely feel like there's something here that could be improved upon, but how much could it be improved is the question. And I'm looking, I think, at 50%. I think maybe it could go up a few percentiles, maybe to 52, 53 with some refinements. But I still think it does need a little buff as an archetype, if you like. I mean, again, I'm ignoring Sunspot here, but I'm thinking Rocket and Groot got hit recently. Maybe they're candidates to be taken out of the deck as far as, for that reason, they aren't as potent as they were. Nocturne, I feel, could justifiably go up to 3-5. I don't think it's that much of a... How do I phrase it? I don't even think the 3-5 is something like it would go back to where it was, because I think the random variance of the location she creates is not something that is as desirable. Especially when you've got something like Rocket and Groot that can move around quite more freely, even if it is just once. Ms. Marvel... I still have mixed feelings about Ms. Marvel, because when she was meta, you know, when she came out as a Season Pass card, I didn't like the fact that there was talk of nerfing her. So even now, when I see this card in its current state, you know, granted it got a recent buff back to full 5, but I still look at it and think, I miss the old flavour where you could have just one card in a location. So, yeah, yes, me hand on heart, I would love Ms. Marvel to get a buff, but I don't think she will. I do think she could get something, though, to help her, but I don't know what. If you add too much power to the side locations, it feels like that would be too powerful. But the base power is nothing as well, so I honestly don't know. I feel like Ms. Marvel's in such a weird spot at the moment. But saying that, I feel like she's a great win condition in these kind of games, so I don't know. Omega Red, I feel like there's a card that could replace that and do a lot better. I kind of talked about Captain Carter, but I'm not sold on that. That was just something I was thinking in my head after seeing the game with one, but maybe there's something out there that could do the job that Omega's trying to do. Floor's just a great way of getting power in the Prof X lane if you've played Prof early or you've got to have a late play to get some power in a location you're losing. And yeah, Eliath and Red Hulk, I feel like they both did good jobs in different games, so I think they're pretty much nailed on for these final 2 slots. But let me know what you think in the comments, folks. I mean, I can't help but look at this and think there was definitely something here. And it feels like an old archetype that's maybe just had Penny Parker thrown in all honesty. But yeah, it's had a lot of changes since the archetype was a real meta challenger. So I'm curious what you guys think could really improve it. Let me know. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any ideas for what I can do in future videos on these weeks where I don't pull the new card, please let me know, because the fact that I put the deck out there to begin with Kangen, it frightened me. So please, any ideas, let me know in the comments. And I will see you in a future video, hopefully where we have new cards to show off. Till then, folks, bye for now.